Welcome back. I'm David Mulligan. We are the Writers Bloc at the Virtual Channel Network, and we are reviewing Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let's take a look. Isn't it interesting when you write a story and you have it critiqued? Let's say you're in a screenwriting group, or you are lucky enough to get it in a production company or an agency, and you get coverage back. And one of the things they say, in any case, it doesn't matter, one of the things they say is, the scene that you have devised is undoable. It doesn't work that way. For instance, now remember, this is Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is a fantastic movie. There are holes in it, but at the time, we didn't care. It was Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, and it was great and it was awesome, and nobody ever talked about the plot holes. They may have, but the movie was so good that it overshadowed any of that. However, if you look at the script, and you should read the script, they have pretty big holes, for instance. So the Nazis take the Bantu Wind, the ship. They take Marion. They take the Ark, but they're unable to find Indy. In fact, the captain tells them that he's dead, but he's not. Then they're looking for Indy as the U-boat is getting ready to take off. And it turns out Indy has jumped into the water, and he's getting onto the U-boat. Now, in the movie, you'll see the men on the Bantu Wind cheer, and the captain and the first mate give a salute to Indy because he's got there to the boat, and he's going to go get Marion, and he's going to go get the Ark. The only problem, though, is it's a submarine, and he's out in the ocean. And in the script, basically what it comes down to is, and we'll read some of it here. I'm on 87 here. Indy climbs the ladder to the bridge of the conning tower and looks down, which is in the movie, by the way. That part is in the movie. The water is rising towards him fast. Indy climbs the ladder to the top of the turret and braces himself between two uprights there, the 7-foot radio mast and the 20-foot periscope. Still, the ocean comes up to meet him. Soon, the top of the turret is underwater and the radio mast is disappearing. Indy shifts his grip to the periscope, working his way up and hanging on for dear life as the ocean whips at his body. The periscope is quickly going under. Indy hangs on at the top 3 feet, all that remains above. The forward movement of the sub continues, but to Indy's slowly dawning delight, the dive stops. No more of the periscope goes under. Indy smiles. It's a pretty good smile, too, given the circumstances. Indy pulls out his bullwhip and begins tying himself to the periscope. And then we have exterior periscope. The sun warms that part of his body Indy has contrived to keep out of the water. The rest floats out behind. Indy isn't comfortable, but all in all, it's not as terrible as he might have feared. And I don't buy it. If you were a novice writer and you came to me with that, I'd say, that's a tough one. Maybe not. Certainly, they didn't use it in the film. And if they didn't use it in the film, they just cut. And the next scene is there's a map insert and so on and so forth. But it gets worse as we go on. It gets even worse. It's as terrible as Indy might have feared. He looks wasted, waterlogged and exhausted. The wet leather of his whip is contracting, and he must struggle constantly to keep from cutting into his skin. Several shark fins cut the surface, appearing and disappearing in the bright moonlight. They are shadowing. A little too much like Jaws. Maybe that's why they cut it out. Who knows? And then it goes on and on and on, and there's a lot of stuff here that happens that we never see in the movie, but it's a lot. You can see the next page in. You know what I really like, and I don't ever use it, but it's kind of cool. He has, for me, it's at the page of top 88, but it might be differently when you look at it on screen, but he has a fade out with a period, not a colon, and then he has a fade in, colon. He has them both on the right side, which is interesting too. You don't see that often. Usually you just see the fade in the beginning of the script and a fade out in the end. And you can do that, as a screenwriter. You don't want to do it too much because then it gets kind of annoying. But I guess here it's okay. And also that's 1979. I don't know if they'll be as merciful today as they were before. Okay.